I read on a blog called Crooks and Liars a story about a British soldier hacked to death in London. But you should know you're not getting the complete story from this blog, which links to the Raw Story blog, which is quoting a sentence that says, "We swear by Almighty Allah, we will never stop fighting you." But that's not the full sentence. The Raw Story blog is using the Telegraph. And if you look at that article, which is used as the source, that sentence continues. It says, "Until you leave us alone." So the Raw Story article takes part of a sentence and another sentence, but omits this part. So the full quote is, "We swear by Almighty Allah, we will never stop fighting you until you leave us alone." Then they quote, "Your people will never be safe." But they omit, "The only reason we have done this is because Muslims are dying by British soldiers every day." So I think you should know that there are media outlets that are not giving you the complete sentence and not telling you the full story. What does it say about these news reporters that they feel it necessary to chop the end of a sentence off? I mean, if this was all on the level, why do people feel it necessary to be chopping sentences like this? Why deceptively chop off the end of that sentence? Do you see what I'm saying? If they thought their hands were so clean, even the Raw Story about Western power, what they're doing in the Middle East, why do they feel the need to suppress these sentences? Just report them if everything is so honorable. The point I want to make is that there are many people reading these news stories thinking they're getting the full story. To deviously chop off something that actually points to a way to end these kinds of attacks really is underhanded. And it's a pattern through the media, as I've pointed out many times before. I think many people don't realize how deceptive mainstream media can be. This is, as I say, part of a pattern of suppression perpetrated by mainstream media. Many of the same people that deny what motivates these kinds of attacks are the people that are suppressing the key sentences that explain what motivates the attacks. Thomas Friedman, basically the top establishment opinion writer, lies when he says there were no specific demands. This was after the '93 attack, but before 9/11. And Thomas Friedman falsely claimed that Ramzi Youssef and Osama bin Laden did not make specific demands. And this is after Ramzi Youssef, the mastermind behind the 1993 attack, sent a letter to the New York Times spelling out what the demands are. Stop all military, economic, and political aid to Israel. All diplomatic relations with Israel must stop. Not to interfere with any of the Middle East countries' interior affairs. That's pretty straightforward. There is a pattern of where there's straightforward demands and we have the media suppressing them. Oh, and by the way, I do not recommend that Crooks and Liars website. They deleted my reply to Walt, who was repeating Thomas Friedman's big lie. The lie that Osama bin Laden never mentioned Israel before 9/11. Bin Laden's declarations of war, which were written before 9/11, do mention Israel. Those declarations were issued as fatwas. There's links in the video description. You can read the fatwas for yourself, which Rachel Maddow just recently misrepresented by pretending they didn't mention Israel. And I exposed that canard in a comment. The moderator deleted that and also deleted this question asking about it. Please use the tools below to share this video with everyone you can.